what we're doing now.
Let's see the Nazis like you.
Oh, shut up, Dust. Go and have a wash. Do continue, Steve. Nazis.
And you know the wonderful thing about free speech, no matter how mad you are, you still have the right.
We still let you speak here in the UK.
Whatever
Who's we, you
whatever lies, whatever bullshit you want to come out with, come to Speaker's Corner and you have a home.
On you go, Steve.
So anyway, shall we talk about the history of Speaker's Corner? The history of Speaker's Corner. This was, as I said last night, for those of you that were watching, it's got quite a dark history. This place started as a place of execution. It was where we killed our criminals. It was where we hung our criminals on the Tyburn tree, which was a massive, massive set of gallows where up to 24 people were hung at once, and those people were given their last opportunity to give a speech. When those executions were brought to a close, that practice continued, and it's now continued to this day, and may it long continue.
Amen.
And I hope the next 150 years is as important as the previous 150 years. Anyone can turn up here on a Sunday with a ladder, without a ladder, and they can spout whatever they choose. Whatever they choose. If they think the earth is flat, then they may come here and tell us the earth is flat. You might notice there was chalk all over the Speaker's Corner because the flat earthers returned yesterday. So welcome return to the flat earthers. But over the years, we've had a real diversity of speakers here, be it vegans, be it politics, be it comedy, be it flat earthers. The one thing that has happened in recent years, which in my view is unfortunate, is that religion has taken over.
Shush now, darling.
Religion.
Shush. All right, censorship.
Welcome, Steve, as I make that point. Religion has indeed taken over.
What a lovely name.
A little bit, don't take this the wrong way, but it's a bit bipolar in terms of evangelical Christianity versus quite a fundamentalist example of Islam. Don't make it your last time. Come back, invite your friends, invite your families. We need more speakers. We need
Just
more
don't
diversity.
invite this idiot. Sorry.
And it helps drown out the nutters. It really does.
So does a drink. Just saying. Be quiet, mate. No one cares.
So,
Now.
we have some great people here today.
And him. Sorry.
Keep going.
We have some great speakers, so I invite anyone to the platform that wishes to say some words. I think I want to emphasise today is a celebration, as Toby pointed out earlier. It is a tremendous day, but it does come with a bit of a shadow of what happened here yesterday, and we can't avoid talking about that as well. But it shouldn't remove the point that this is a celebration of a very important place. Steve, who I think hopefully is going to say a few words, once described this place as the jewel in the free speech crown of this country, and I thought that was a spot-on description. So I'm sure he's going to tell us more.
Make way.
Eventually.
So
He's standing very still.
Make way for XPC.
Aye. Good, Steve. Times two.
Even need a ladder. Look at that.
Was that haircut banned in the police force?
Hide it under your hat.
It was too good for
I've always wanted to grow one.
Wow. Boring.
I'm not an orator. I'm not a speaker as such. Those that know me, and I can see lots of wonderful faces here. Lovely to see you all again since my retirement, unfortunately due to ill health. Although thankfully I'm on the mend now, so which is good. Where do we begin? I don't want to waffle on. 150 years, Speaker's Corner, freedom of speech. Is freedom of speech alive?
Yes.
Ish.
Sorry. Sick. Very sick.
Do we have our freedom to have our speech?
Low.
To an extent.
You gotta enforce it.
There's a great line in an Eagles song, Hotel California, we're prisoners of our own device. and we very much are. And when I first came to Speaker's Corner from Borough, and I came out to Hyde Park, I thought I was coming out to grass, taking it nice and easy, and then I took on the mantle of Speaker's Corner. I thought, no!
Did it very well.
But what was very noticeable when I first started, it was at that time before social media and YouTube started to take off. So it was a time when you'd come on a Sunday and you'd have some of the stalwarts that were here on the various parts, speaking their truth and their opinions about pieces. And then YouTube started to take over, and you can start to see this change when egos and channels started to take over, and the narrative was changing. And I said, as it progressed for about a year, and I think I said at the first meeting that I arranged about the first time in history that we got a representation of all speakers from all faiths and ideals with the Royal Parks, myself as a police, and we had meetings quarterly over the old police house, and we made history there because we started to see these changes in our freedom of speech. We're starting to get more violence, driven by largely social media. And I said, whether you agree with me or not, social media is the cancer of freedom of speech. It robs you of responsibility. Now, the reason
Spreading all
why I
that
say
free
that
speech.
is, if you're going to put something out on social media, do you have the guts to come down who you are, to stand on a soapbox and say that to the public?
Yes.
That's true.
Sorry.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can't do that, whatever you put out there, which may be
Oh,
legitimate,
in the form of comments.
it's not getting out to the public. And Speaker's Corner is about listening. It should also be Listener's Corner, Debating Corner. And we've lost that.
Yeah.
We have lost the originals and why this was running. We need the original characters back. Derek, wonderful what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
I see three.
Named him.
How we work today.
Doc.
You've got to sit down circle because it drives a low narrative. It causes proper debate. I see three. Brilliant.
I see three.
Yeah? And this is what we've done as a collaborative. We've got the signs up about the history. And then I've got the Royal Parks to make up some proper Speaker's Corner boxes.
Oh, good.
To drive.
What happened to them?
It's important.
They've been
The
nicked.
so-called terrorist threat.
Yeah.
The rubbish police got rid of them.
Yeah.
Not you.
No.
Watch
On you
out.
go.
Watch your back.
Boo! Hicks.
But
Is it lunchtime already?
we had
Rushing back to the police house.
with a, on the side, stand up for something with a drive to try and get new people to come to the corner. And I worked with Westminster Council. We went to
Worked.
local universities and colleges
So
to
old-fashioned.
try and get a new breed of speakers coming in here. But unfortunately, it was very difficult because what they see on social media is all the fighting and all the hate. And it scares people off. And it became a nightmare to contain. But thankfully, during my time, we worked together. We managed to identify the troublemakers. We dealt with them. And we reduced crime and incident by 85%
Go on, Steve.
during that time.
Well done, sir.
That's what we've done. Yep. And that's what we've done.
What happened?
Nah. But sadly, we now live in a world where the way I can describe it is we live in a stadium. Imagine Wembley Stadium. Everybody's shouting and screaming their truths of what their opinion is. No one's listening anymore. And this is where we have got a mess. Now, is Speaker's Corner going to be here in 150 years' time? The place will, this spot, this land, will the people still be coming here? That's
I feel like they'll be dead.
Unless we start getting people coming down here, the new generation, get on their soapboxes to actually start talking about other subjects than religion, which has its place.
Says the pagan. Sorry.
Religion is always the problem, Mr. Speaker.
Oh.
It is always the problem.
Contentious.
Get up on the ladder soon.
Oh, tea break, everyone.
Religion and power has been since year dot, because that's what humankind does. Yeah.
Almost as if there's a god.
You can't change that. But if we're going to celebrate this, you know, we've got to, this is imperative, we've got to get the new speakers down here.
Otherwise, it's going to get worse.
As,
Can it?
what was it
Sorry.
Bob used to say?
Oh, it can always get worse.
He was right.
He was right. Of course, he was right.
Yeah.
Different generation.
What else was I going to say? I'm waffling
No, don't worry about it.
there.
Extension.
Right, policing Speaker's Corner itself,
That's it.
extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you. I mean, it actually made me quite ill. I mean, I did actually get some serious anxiety from it because it's coming on a Monday, and if you saw the grief and the shite that I had to wade through, and you think, my God, these are adults I'm dealing with.
These are just his colleagues.
99% of it. And as we know, with the Redmond Bates ruling is, if you don't like it,
Go home.
don't be here. Yeah? But policing is difficult.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I've tried during my time here to do training packages about the history, to get introduced people, officers to work with the crowd. Simon, who's taken over me, is doing a sterling job, but his hands are tied. It's
Someone get the key.
It's difficult to get police officers to come and get out their cars, to actually talk
Everywhere.
to people, and not go get that camera out my face. No? But policing reflects our society. It's easy to go and poo-poo the police are this. No, the police are you. They're everybody. This generation coming through is the same generation that's been brainwashed again by social media, driven by that stadium of hate. So that's difficult. And then we get a situation, unfortunately, we've seen yesterday with Patoon. I mean, I don't know the full details. I question where was the Royal Parks Police here to work with the serials that are on duty here for
Lol.
concerts, to give a bit of knowledge of how Speaker's Corner works. I question that. I don't know. Why wasn't the crowd dealt with in a different way? Questions need to be asked. Why was Hattoon arrested in the first one? I don't know these facts yet, but we need to question this. We've got to challenge it, because if we don't, it becomes a narrative.
Wrongful arrest, anyone? Kidnapping?
All hanging fruit.
Yeah?
It becomes the norm.
It becomes the norm. So, I think that's all I really need to say, really. I'm going to say quickly my opinion, because you know I'm a druid and I work. My passion is the protection of the environment. We do have a serious problem. The naysayers saying it's all a climate conspiracy and rubbish. This. The issue that we got, the narrative is the wrong heading. It's an environmental emergency. If we are destroying our ecosystem.
Capitalism is.
That is the problem. If you cut down rainforests, and you plough up fields, and you just keep don't do crop circle rotations.
Crop circle rotations. It's different, isn't it?
Go into the waters and the rivers. Did you know that all our rivers are now classed? You cannot swim in them because of the poisons in them. We have lost 80% of our amphibians because of all the poisons we're putting into our rivers. Even now, there's a great big iceberg of wet wipes in the Thames, which people are putting down.
Oh, charming.
Is getting into our water system,
sea.
which is inside you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's inside you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the chemicals in our food and the plastics and everything. We wonder why cancer is increasing, because you're consuming it.
By design.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right plan.
I just,
Right plan.
Right.
Is profiting from it.
And when I say to people,
climate change
are you
is causing cancer?
who's patriots? Who's a
You say
patriot?
climate
here?
change is
Yes.
causing cancer?
Who's a patriot?
Yes.
here? What are you a patriot for?
because this is my country and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else unless it was very nice and sunny.
You question somebody's
And
so-called
cheap.
patriot.
Sorry.
Yeah. Our land, our green land and our forests.
Green and pleasant
and our
hills.
waters and our rivers and our air.
Yeah.
75% of our bird life now is on the red list. You can go out and ask anybody in the high street here. Anybody here name 10 garden birds?
I'd have a go. Wren, robin, starling, blue tick, gold tick, thrush, speckled something.
They're going we've got the lowest diversity of wildlife anywhere in the whole of the northern hemisphere
There are
now.
a few dinosaurs left. They're in the House of Lords.
They're not in the garden.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is we need more people coming down here, speaking
Bird
corner,
spotting.
and start talking about this. Unfortunately, the certain areas
Trustworthy that's put out in the
South
mainstream.
Africa for 4 weeks. The winelands down there are in massive trouble. And I said to my family down there, there's no insects.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you see,
right.
but you
And I've
see
noticed
bushes
the
are here.
flowers don't smell anymore.
They
When I
don't
was a
now.
boy in Leicester, you could smell the
And I said, where's all the
fragrance.
insects gone? I
Because
spoke
it
to
got
the wine
loads,
grows because of
Must
years
have
and years spraying
Must have
insecticides.
posed
Killed
no
everything.
smell or taste. COVID's a
Yeah,
fake
and they're,
disease.
and they're trying to get beehives running again, and all collapsing. And what's happening now? The northern areas in Africa, are coming down south as well as north
Yeah.
to try and get work because their crops are fading.
The
And
ones
what's
who are still
happening now is
alive
you're
and not
getting
being
wars and
macheted by
people are getting
Boko
murdered
Haram.
by the dozen every single day in South Africa because of climate change.
Steve, I'll tell you something. I thought I would come here today with you being up there, and I could heckle you, and I can't and agree with you. Okay? But the issue is that I spent about 5-6 years ago, I went to the Maldives, and I went 2 or 3 years to this specific island on the Maldives, and that island is now sunk. And over the years, every year we went, the beach that we used to stand on, there was less beach.
Anyone heard of Atlantis?
And now they've had to remove the resort and the island has sunk.
Is that a modern phenomenon?
And round the corner to this island is what they call Rubbish Island.
Yep.
And you've never seen anything like it. They're burning rubbish on these islands.
So that's it. And just to finalise, so I'm waffling on here.
No, you're not. Doing brilliantly.
Oh, help me,
What's
Jesus.
the most precious resource we have on the planet?
Human
Which is-
beings.
What's the most precious resource?
I just answered you. Human beings.
Water. Yeah. We've virtually the southeast of a good friend of mine. She works in one of the main 3 water companies. Southeast England yesterday have now declared the southeast aquifers are empty. We have run out of water.
It'll be raining in a minute. What are you
We
talking
have run
about,
out of
man?
fresh water. Once those aquifers drain,
Put some
they don't
chemicals in
order.
it.
The mob that
Treat it.
Thatcher that privatised water, and he works for the Jews Rothschild.
Oh, here we go. It's Monday, people.
As we've got,
Haven't had enough
as we've got
caffeine.
an energy crisis, they're all coming out now.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit
Let's
tired.
get some fracking because we've got all the gas and everything underneath our feet. How much water do you?
The government,
This is
they'll
what
tell me the
don't tell you.
truth.
One well is the same daily water supply of the whole of New York State. One well.
How many
Now,
people
once
are
that-
in New York
once that
State at
water
the
has
time?
been used, because they millions and millions of gallons, and they say it's mixed with sand, blasted through. No, it's mixed with lots of carcinogenic chemicals called slick fluid, so it gets into the crack fissures to pull out the gas. Once that water's pulled out, you cannot recycle it again.
I bet
That's
they
it,
try.
it's gone. So then they inject it back underneath the ground, 2,000 kilometres down under the ground where it's blow the aquifers, seal up the casing, and there it stays.
Tell us more how climate change
Right.
is.
Oh, don't muck about, mate. Some of us want to get to the
There
club
comes a
eventually.
clincher. What happens to the concrete casings as concrete deteriorates over time, and that concrete and all that water and stuff gets
I might go
seeped
for
into the
a
aquifer.
wander. Is that
Now, it's
rude?
only now in the United States this problem's starting to rise, because once that fluid gets into the aquifer,
Right, sorry, I'm just going to come over here and have a little chat with you because I don't want to heckle him, but I will. So I feel like maybe I'll contain myself. Yes, all of, well, no, not all of them, but quite a few of them. And if you meant me, yes, here I am. Right, let's have a little sit down and a quick sip of something or other. I've come to claim my libation. Right, let's have a little sip.
Thanks to James.
Ah, bless him. I will do. No, I will. When I hang on, Steve's still going. Yeah, thanks, babes. But you're pleased he said your name, ain't you? Right. I know I do. He's talking about the climate as if like it, as if people just aren't get up and go enough. Like when there's massive corporations and stuff that are, do me a favour. Anyway, half of it, whatever. I can't do it. It's Monday, people. Haven't had enough caffeine, unfortunately. But he has got a top knot. And that really does say quite a lot in terms of gentlemen in London. Alright, let's find out who's up and then I might get up again. Hold on. Oh! Sorry, let me just have a sip of this. I don't want to advertise the company. It's alright, J-Do. You've got a very common name. Right, who's up there? Who's up there? Sorry. Alright, we're never going to be able to hear him. Never. Look.
On organising I don't know about you, but I think that as an emblem of free speech, Speaker's Corner is of the utmost importance to all of our country, everyone in our country. And the fact is, we used to have a saying called "It's a free country." You used to hear it an awful lot. Strangely enough, you don't hear it very much now. And I think that reflects reality. At the time where Speaker's Corner is now celebrating 150 years, what do we have? We have a teacher in hiding up in Yorkshire for what he said, exercising his free speech as a teacher. We've just recently had a film taken down by View Cinema, Cineworld, because of mob rule, basically, not upholding free speech.
Back the Lord Chamberlain.
But
Julian Assange.
But I would say this to you, that these things have been going on now for quite some years, these incidents. But the most important thing I think is that teachers in our schools should bring their pupils to this place to explain to them the importance of it. Because we are now in a situation where there are many young people who don't even believe in free speech anymore. This is a new development. In the past, many of us in the past used to argue about free speech, and it was quite easy because you had the free speech absolutists and you have people saying, oh yes, I agree with it, but it's got limitations. Now we're having to argue with people who don't even believe in the concept. Absolutely. And unfortunately that is
they don't understand the concept.
They haven't been taught the concept.
Agents of a dictatorship.
It is incredibly important, therefore, that our teachers, if that's possible, bring kids to this place, and that we have to make sure that the younger generation actually realise that free speech is the very basis of the society in which they live.
Definitely.
So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much, Steve Faulkner, and thank you for inviting me along. Great event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. So now over to Toby Young. Who I know.
Going a bit.
It's all very technical.
Need some help. I'll attach it. Hold on.
You're quite close, to be fair.
So, thank you, Steve, and it's great to see all these faces here. When I was thinking last night about what I was going to say today, writing it last week, I came across a video of Hatun Tash being dragged away from here by the police yesterday.
People corrupt videos.
When all she was doing was exercising her lawful right to free speech.
Absolutely.
And the Free Speech Union has written to the Metropolitan Police about arresting Hatun on a previous occasion. We've written to them about why they haven't yet made an arrest.
Or an apology.
Someone actually stabbed her when she was trying to exercise her lawful right to free speech last year here at Speaker's Corner. And apparently, I've spoken to Hatun, she's here today. She said that one of the things the police said to her by way of explanation for why they had dragged her away yesterday, arrested her, even though charges haven't been expressed, that's usually the modus operandi, is that some of the people in the park yesterday thought that her t-shirt, which depicted one of the Charlie Hebdo cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, was offensive.
Oh,
That was part of the
Didn't.
explanation. So I thought,
we were offensive.
I thought it might be worth reminding everyone.
Yeah, being stabbed in the face is offensive.
It might be worth reminding everyone of the words. I think the well-known words of.
Do you wear them clothes to be offensive?
The
'Cause I'm
judge
offended.
said in the famous Redmond Bate v. Department for Public Prosecutions case, which is, and I quote, "Free speech includes not only the
Ridicule.
inoffensive, but the irritating, the contentious, the eccentric, the heretical, the unwelcome, and the provocative,
Oh, that's
provided it
provocative
does
for
not
you.
tend to provoke violence. Freedom only to speak inoffensively is not worth
Mr.
having,
Khan,
and
that's in
something
church. Please
we
read the
should
Bible
remember.
correctly before you start spouting nonsense.
But I wanted to follow up on something Peter said, which is he's absolutely right. Young people aren't nearly as passionate about free speech as they should be. They don't realise why it should be important to them and not just us. And one of the reasons, I think, underpins the reason why Hattunash was the rest of disadvantaged, vulnerable groups. That there's a direct conflict between the right to free speech and the safety, the emotional well-being of historically disadvantaged groups. This, I think, is why young people are suspicious about free speech. They think it's only something that benefits the privileged, the elite, male, pale and stale conservatives, not historically oppressed, vulnerable.
Mr. Khan, how about the
groups.
entire
I just
Quran?
wanted to address what I
You're a
feel
Muslim.
is a huge
Yeah, I'm sorry, I
pain.
missed
That's
it because
just
there's
not
an idiot
true.
in my
Male,
comments.
pale and
It's
stale.
historically ignorant.
Oh.
You're a white male.
Oh, no,
The
that's
suffragettes
not right.
were able to fight for votes for women.
Oh, he's not
Because
getting
of
stabbed in the
free
face there.
speech. The reason
I
the
know.
Chartists were able to organise and fight for votes for working men
People
was because they were
might
exercising
zombie
their free speech. The reason the gay rights movement in the 1970s in America was able to get off the ground is because of their First Amendment rights. The reason for the Civil Rights Movement, without the First Amendment protections in America defended by the American Civil Liberties Union, the Civil Rights Movement wouldn't have been able to organise, to
Yes.
march, to protest. That's why the leaders of the civil rights movements, including Martin Luther King, were such passionate defenders of free speech. Free speech has been essential for the success of anti-colonial movements in India and South Africa. That's why Gandhi and Nelson Mandela were such passionate
Anti-colonial
defenders of free speech. The idea that free speech is in any way the enemy of historically disadvantaged, oppressed people is the complete opposite of the truth. Without free speech, tons of people wouldn't have the rights they have
Everyone
today.
is historically
Yes, those rights are
oppressed.
under threat. Yes, we need to do more
They're
to
not
defend
royalty
them.
or
Free speech has
politicians.
probably never been in greater jeopardy. But we need to nail this canard that free speech is in some way the enemy of oppressed
gonna go
people.
for a
That
wander
vulnerable
again in a
people
minute.
need to be protected from
I'm gonna be
hurtful words.
next.
That is nonsense.
Don't be
Free
ages.
speech is the friend of this
Yeah.
Free speech and social justice go hand in hand. They're not in any way.
He's allowed to say what he likes. There's freedom of speech, my darling.
Thank you for coming.
Oh no, we
Great to
talked
be
about
here.
this.
I look forward to hearing all you have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, these are speeches.
I'm going to go with him, Michael.
Yes, yes.
Thanks so much, dude.
That's what we're here for, by invitation, I might add. Bye now, love. Is the bingo starting?
Regulars here. Who's many regulars here?
Yes.
Oh, there's loads, mates. Who else? Yeah, of course.
Not that lady.
Well,
but yes.
some of you might have known my father, who used to be here as a regular. His name was Barry Roberts.
Yeah, good old Barry.
And he used to be here for about 30 years. Now, I'm his son. I'm not as good as him, obviously. He was trained in the noble art of speaking at speaker's school. Right,
Just keep going, bro.
Who are you, mate?
anyway,
Keep going.
so I'm just going to say a few things on the subject of free speech and just maybe sort of implicitly criticise the two speakers who spoke before.
Contentious.
Now there's free speech and there's free speech. Thank you, sir. Yes. Speaker's Corner, in many respects, has never been a place for free speech. In the
enshrined in the
sense
Act.
that the 1872 Act does not mention free speech.
Yeah, true.
It mentions something else called public address. Okay,
The
so
right to hold forth.
weirdly, Speaker's Corner is known symbolically as a place for free speech, but free speech does not exist here legally. Okay. Now,
Don't tell everyone.
yeah, that's okay. But what's interesting about the history of free speech is how the authorities have tried to heavily regulate ordinary people's voices here. So go back to
Everywhere else.
1866 when the Reform League had a riot here. They took down Hyde Park railings to try and get greater political rights for speakers here, for ordinary people. Now at the time, the Home Secretary was called Spencer Walpole, Horatio Walpole. After the 1866 riots, he then went to the Attorney General and said, how can we stop people campaigning for their rights here? And the Attorney General said, well, it's within your powers to stop people coming here because they're trespassing on the Crown land. But the Attorney General said, don't do that because that will inflame the excitable passions of people. Now in 1872, because more and more people campaigned for their right to free speech here, the government wanted not to pass a law to allow people the right of free speech, but the right of public address. And there was a debate in Parliament at the time, more liberal, the park rangers, to decide who would have the right of free speech or not. And there was a big debate in Parliament at the time. Now, since 1872,
Literally.
the government has, on different occasions, tried to regulate Speaker's Corner in various ways, shapes and form, even today. But the other thing that has occurred here is the different architectural design of Speaker's Corner. So, for example, Marble Arch used to be the grand entrance to Speaker's Corner. In 1908, there was a roadwork that separated Marble Arch. Then in 1961 to 62, there are further roadworks that pushed Marble Arch even further away, but increased the traffic noise round here. And speakers at the time, including Lord Soper, who used to come here, complained that the noise would mean that it would be less chance for people to exercise.
He was going a bit later on.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That would regulate how people spoke, the increased noise pollution. And in fact, in 1996, when the Royal Parks Agency, 1994, when the Royal Parks Agency did a review of the area, they said the increased noise pollution has meant that there's less speakers in this vicinity here. So the speakers in 1961 were correct. So my point being, you will hear a lot of people say this is a place to celebrate free speech, but historically the authorities have always regulated people's voices here. And legally, people don't have the right to free speech. The most they have is public address. Okay. So there you go.
Thank you.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Piers.
Hi, Chris. Can I go next?
It's not, it's Steve. Wasn't Steve coordinating?
I've got to catch a train.
I'll let Piers go, he's got to get off.
Pavlov was there.
No, okay, so. Bob.
Can we get
Bob. Bob.
Can you let me go?
Bob.
This is about free. This is about Speaker's Corner. It's not about your politics. I don't care.
Arguing about free speech, ladies and gentlemen. Go figure that one.
Okay, Steve Barnes talking about the ecologists. Come on.
Hey man, Steve is the one in command here, isn't it? And speaking of command, I think there's something that is being missed right now, is that police is not policing. The police is not doing their job. The police is not looking to put the criminals in jail. Instead, they're looking to put the victims in jail.
Yes.
They're jailing the victims, they're jailing the speakers, instead of jailing the people who attacked them. I don't remember the police chasing the person who stabbed Hatun. I don't remember them chasing the person who stole Hatun's Quran, which was her property.
I was robbed here in the summer. I went to the police. They couldn't be bothered.
Thank you very much. I do remember, however, a policeman chasing me from the park during COVID. The one and only time that I was chased by a policeman in my life. I've never done any crimes. Never. Didn't steal, didn't hit, didn't do anything. The only thing I did was show up in the park. The policeman chased me all the way.
So you got your daily
the road over
exercise,
there.
is what you're saying.
All the way. 100 meters run. He chased me properly. Not when Hatun got stabbed, not when Hatun got robbed in the park. This is what I need to talk about here. This is what we need to focus on. The police is not doing anything. And I know why that is. We all know why that is. Because they expect that if they just jail the person who's provoking, who's being provocative, who's speaking about the things that get some people really upset, if they just remove that person, it's all going to be okay. There's going to be peace. Peace is going to be established. No breaches of peace, correct? Well, no. I tell you what, you're only encouraging the people, the scumbags who steal and who shank people. You're only going to be encouraging them to do the same over and over again. Because they feel unapologetic these days. They feel like they can get away with it. And more scumbags are showing up in Speaker's Corner and lying, cheating, deceiving, stealing, and hitting people. It's almost on a daily basis. Every single Sunday in Speaker's Corner, something happens. Somebody gets hit. Somebody gets robbed. Somebody gets pushed around. It can't go on. It cannot keep going on. We need people like PC Barnes to come back to Speaker's Corner and to re-establish order.
Yeah. Let's have a whip round, everyone.
Free speech. Thank you very much. I've had my speech.
Thanks, Pavlov.
Thank you, Pavlov.
Well done, Pav.
Oh, my glasses.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Of the jury.
I want to point out that in the West, we achieved something that no other civilization has managed to achieve. And that is the peaceful transition of government. Democracy is completely undervalued in the West.
Right.
We've lost sight of the achievement of what democracy means. In so many other parts of the world, changes of government and changes of policy are brought about through the use of force. And free speech is the fertilizer that allows democracy to grow. If you censure speech, if you limit speech, then what you do is you start to bring in the fence around the garden of democracy, and you narrow it and narrow it and narrow it until only one type of flower grows. We've lost the public debate in this country around free speech because we're not fighting for it. We're not arguing for it. And because we have ignored the enemies of free speech, cultural communists, Islamists, religious fundamentalists,
Like Bob, the destroyer here.
who are not playing by the rules
Like
that
Bob
they
the
ask
Destroyer
you
here.
to play by. So they do discriminate and they do practice prejudice and bigotry against groups
Just
that
like
they
Bob the
don't
Destroyer
like.
here does.
Ladies and
Wow,
gentlemen,
the comedy
and
value.
because
But true.
and
No, not
because
at all.
those of
You're
us that
censoring your
believe in
speech,
free
like you're
speech
speaking
and
over it.
believe
Yeah,
in the
what does it do?
traditional way
I
of
don't
doing
know.
things
Exactly.
are playing by a rule book
So why does,
that
why
our
does
opponents
he
are
doing
not
something that you
playing
don't
by.
appreciate? How does you doing it make that
Institution
better?
by
It's
institution
hypocritical. No, I'm
is being
assuming you mean he shuts you
politicized
down. But I've
by
seen you interrupting him.
militants of
And
the
you,
left.
you dislike Christians anyway.
Now, ladies and
Sure thing.
gentlemen,
People that hate.
Oh, you
what
hate? Oh, that's
can
charming.
we do about it?
Yeah. Well, that's also
What
hypocrisy.
can we do about it?
But at least it's the
We
right
can
thing to do.
reinvigorate
isn't.
the arguments
It
for
isn't
free speech.
the right thing to do.
We can reinvigorate
Very hard.
the culture of free speech. How? By arguing for an American-style free speech law. Speaker's Corner shouldn't be described as a dual kingdom.
And roundabouts.
It shouldn't be a special place here.
It is, Mr. Speaker.
What we have, ladies and gentlemen, is an absence of militancy from those who want to see free speech.
It is raining,
An
Bill.
Why were you
absence
reluctant
of
to come
strategy, an
during-
absence
when they tried to
of
ban us? Why were you reluctant to
ability
come? Why were you
to
reluctant
speak
to come
out.
and defend us?
So what can we do? We can organise politically, we can organise culturally,
Can round up
you
the
can
speech,
take
wrap it
Speaker's
up,
Corner
snappy.
to all the other Speaker's Corners that exist
No,
in the United Kingdom.
We all are, but
There's
there's a limit.
There's Speaker's Corners in Bristol. There's Speaker's
And a dress
Corners in
code, I feel.
Sheffield. free speech, if it is simply undefended, will continue
Yes, it
to
is,
be
Phil, it's
eroded.
live.
In the lockdown, you didn't come.
You've got to defend it. And you've got to defend it
I
not
was here
just
on
by
his behalf.
talking about it, but through political activism. The police in the corner,
All right, wrap it up, Bob. Come on.
I'm nearly finished.
Good boy.
The police in the corner
You got him on a good
are
leash.
following the easy
Sister.
road,
That's what he likes to call me.
the path
Teach
of
me that.
least resistance. They
Oh,
could
I
follow
know
a
3-year-olds
strategy of regularly reviewing the videos that are filmed at Speaker's
Oh, they do
Corner,
do that, they do do that.
identifying
Yeah.
the troublemakers,
They do that, there's a
and
lot
then
of it.
using their
Oh, well done.
powers
No, that's
to
them, they
ban
don't. Yeah, but they don't do that
troublemakers
bit.
from
They
the
go through and
park.
find people and go, oh,
It was a
that's interesting, and then
policy
just get on
that
with
was
their life. They
followed
don't-
by
he's saying they should
Steve.
use it to
It
get rid of
worked,
people who are
and it can be followed
violent.
again.
A novel idea,
Should
Bob.
be mentioned that all of the examples where free speech have been eroded have two common groups associated with them.
Bob, the Destroyers,
The
first
teacher-
one.
That's not a group, that's an
The
individual.
teacher of
He was-
North,
Represents
the
a group.
cinema,
Does he?
Yeah,
and
which
what
group's that?
happened to Hatton Tash.
No, people who are able
The
to speak their own
common
minds,
factor
maybe?
in all of those was
maybe
Islamic
some Christians.
militancy.
Yes, not all.
And the
Christians,
common
exactly.
factor
No, but you wouldn't,
in
but
the
you wouldn't,
erosion
but you wouldn't know
and
what
the
denomination
cowering
he was or what
to
views he had
Islamic
unless you listen.
militancy
And love God.
and the
rather than spread
justification and
You
defence
don't believe
of
in God
it
though, do you?
is the
believe what
militant
you
left.
You don't know what I believe.
And what do we need to stand up Christianity that would oppose these groups?
Repression and
Because if
dictatorship
you
is
don't,
all that Bob the Destroyer
only
wants.
group that will stand against them is the alt-right,
That's not what Engels said.
and the alt-right
The
cannot
one
be
who started Das
given
Kapital with
the
Karl
place
Marx. Yeah, yeah.
to stand against these.
He said if you believe that the Bible is in any way like cohesive,
militant
non-antithetical to our message, you're incorrect. Because Christians are trying to say that
to these two
that the
groups, there
disciples
will be
had
no guidance to
property in
virtue. Any questions?
No, thank you, sir. That was great.
I'll be over there.
Listen to this wonderful
Good
person
boy.
here.
Oh my
I'll be
gosh.
over there for
Has someone spiked my drink?
We
Right.
won't be.
Right, I might have to wander off now for tears or I feel bad. I've got to check my battery in a minute. Well, just until I get up there. Hello. Hello, madam. Right, this is Piers, everybody. They can't see. I'll turn it round, sir. We're going to catch the beginning of Piers' speech, catch the topic, and then we're going to go and...
Well, it's fantastic to be here. 150 years of Speaker's Corner. And I welcome everybody here, including those who failed to turn up and support us on the day when we were attacked at the start of lockdowns here. Because the lockdown was attempting to end free speech, and those small numbers of us who stood up then and spoke here and defied the police and defied the lockdowns are probably the reason why we're still here now,
You're all
able
welcome.
to speak. But I welcome all of those who weren't here then and are now.
Yeah,
Because
you know
we
you
have
are.
to unite in the future to defend all free speech, because that is the mechanism by which the working class can defend itself and organise and defeat the enemy now
And there are other
every
classes
time
available.
in the past. Now, most of you know me as my brother's brother. That used to be the case.
Anymore.
And maybe I'm now his brother, but that might
Oh,
change.
he might be
and
your
he'll
brother. Wow.
Unfortunately, as you know, he's lost his way completely and is now
Here, here.
an alliance with Extinction Rebellion oil campaign. He's with them now alongside
No,
Tony
don't
Blair,
sugarcoat it. Say how you
Tony
feel.
Blair, Keir Starmer, and all the worst people in
Oh,
the
God
world
bless him for
behind
having
the
a go,
World
though.
Economic Forum. And I challenge my brother to a debate
duel.
in
Oh,
Speaker's
sorry.
Corner.
Here, here.
He's independent, Mr. Speaker.
So, we all are.
Citizens, I first came here in 1965.
Tony Blair's grandfather.
1965, when there was no
have to ask
such thing
his
as a
nan.
mobile phone, there was no colour television, there was no colour photographs.
Just after the earth called.
It was a babble haze, but what happened here then was very
He could get away
important.
with it in a
And
film,
I
probably.
give
He looks
total
the part.
praise
True.
and support to all those people that have maintained this tradition since then.
All right,
And I
thank
wanna
you,
thank
Piers. Off we
especially
go.
my-
Sorry. I may do a speech, but I don't know if I can follow this kind of interest. Right, so I'm going to do a little pan around. That's IC3's band that he's here with every week. There's Hatton speaking to somebody, to be fair, I'm not sure who. There's, I'm not going to name everyone because somebody's name was called out earlier who doesn't really appreciate their name being bandied. So, yeah, I'm just going to, I might go on, I could have gone and hidden under somebody's umbrella. However, I feel like then we'd be eavesdropping on their dude. Right, is it any drier under a tree? It could be. Although, no, the chair looks like it's... No, we're not having it. Do you know where's drier? The pub. I'm just throwing it out there. They're renowned for being like, you know, having ceilings. Yeah. Hello, Daffy, my love. In the Leviathan. Interested in? Or, I don't remember. I'm not disinterested. I mean, if you've got one in your garden, in the pond. Right, no, it's piddling now, people. I'm just going to throw it out there. Pubs are notoriously dry on the inside. Not for me, darling. Not for me. Nothing is for me, technically. I'm going to get up there, but it's piddling. It's piddling. Or tiddling, actually. It's not. No, it's just graduated to piddling. I might do my own speech here. Still banging on. Bless him. And it's tiddling. It's tiddling, and as you'll notice, dressed for summer. But this is the English doings. Phil, I'm not trying to. I mean, you don't see real police out on the street in real life in the week. Hello, Joseph. So there's very little. There's very little chance of being arrested when the old Bill are all smoking fags and drinking coffee and eating donuts to go with a stereotype. You're right, Trinity Matrix. Watch 'em, Martin. Right, anyway, he's talking against what Steve, the former constable, member of the constabulary, spoke about, Extinction Rebellion. Sorry, I feel like... Right, anyway, pub! Where's Steve? I can't shout gin and tonic, but I can shout coffee. Right, should we go and drive Steve mental? No, it's too rainy. I could get up there with the umbrella, but then I'd have to take P with me. Jeez. Right, it's just... the weather's a bit much now. Yes, Isaac, well done, Team Genesis. Not the Phil Collins version, but look, this is what I can... He spent all night learning that chant. 2, 4, 6, 7. No, hang on a minute.
We appreciate.
Jesus! Well, it sounded a bit blasphemous as I shouted it, like, Right, anyway, can we do these speeches in the pub, yes or no? I mean, yes or yes? Okay, I feel like nobody said no at that stage. Right, let's go. I'm going to go and have to berate Steve, harangue him, as it were. Let's have a go. Let's have a go. Steve, I just want to point out, I've already pointed out, pubs are notoriously dry places. And is there a reason why we can't have this little thing?
We go,
To the Marlborough. I'm not going to dox everyone. I wouldn't say it on a live stream.
We've got a wonderful speaker.
Because we might have visitors.
So we can all hear her, please.
Says the guy who's been heckling all day. The irony. Alright, hold on. Remarkably alright.
I think he realised it wasn't amongst friends.
Apart from that lady's let's get the I was going to film let's see what the lady's saying and get wet at the same time.
Women and what a woman is
Oh no, I'm going to go over to Pablo.
when-
Sorry. Oh, you alright, lovey? Long time. Sorry, I only love you for your umbrella.
She's not a hateful bigot.
Yes, you can.
Before then, every time I heard about transphobia and all of the stuff that was said, I thought, oh, they must be right, they must be hateful bigots. And when Kelly J. Keane, who created Standing for Women, some people...
Big up, Posey. Well
I don't
done.
believe it. Anyway, she created the idea of this as a billboard, and she paid to have a billboard put up somewhere in the north of England, I remember.
A
And it
dictionary
says,
definition.
woman, adult human female, that is the legal definition of what a woman is. And when I saw this, I remember thinking, oh no, that's a bit mean, because men who transition to transsexuals, it's not kind to say that they're not women.
No, let's not be
They think
factual.
They're women.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I left it because I thought I don't want to be unkind to people. And I didn't realise that what was happening was
Thank
literally
you.
people are saying that women are not allowed to say what a woman is. A woman is an adult human female. You can only be a woman if you are born female. And
Boom.
You grow up and you're a woman. And the people who are saying that we're hateful to say that, you might think, oh, it's just a bit unkindness. What this has led to is children are being indoctrinated into this. Literally, children in primary schools are being told that they have a gender identity and they might feel like they're a boy because they like boys
Without their parents' consent or knowledge.
I know, right?
Disgusting paedophilia apologists.
They like girl things.
Why should they be talking about their genitalia in the first
What
place
we thought
at like
we got
6 or
rid of
7?
was those regressive definitions. I grew up thinking we rejected these regressive ideas that if you like dolls or you like
Action men.
yeah, so if you like action men,
But enough about my
if you
private
like
life.
playing rough games, that's girly. So if you're a boy, you don't want to do that.
I wonder if you're allowed to assign a gender to your like sexual abuser when they say who did it.
Because now, if you're a boy and you like playing with girls,
I'm saying I wonder if you're sexually abused as a child, are you allowed to say it was a man who did it or it was a lady?
Actually a girl, and the reason this is so damaging.
Imagine that, you get abused as a
Hateful.
child, and
They
then
probably
you
get
call it a
arrested.
man,
And
and then
then
you
some-
get arrested.
Children are being told this. They're growing up to literally think that they were born in the wrong
It would
body.
be fun if it wasn't so tragic.
Exactly.
It'd
It'd be a brilliant farce, like Monty Python-esque.
This matters
Sounds like it.
that they're being told that the answer to their
Oh,
problem,
Totally Spice. Somebody watched
that
Totally
they're
Spice.
in the wrong body, is that they can take hormones.
All right, are we going pub
which
yet?
will
What?
Stop their bodies.
The great British weather,
The
everybody.
weather is not great today.
And I believe this nonsense.
Yeah, the great in
I
that sentence
thought,
was
oh, yes,
for
that's
British,
fine,
Great Britain.
because
No, she's
how awful
talking
to
some
be-
sense,
to
but
be
I
in
wish
the
she
wrong
focused more
body.
on what
That's-
matters.
go
Yeah,
through
and free
puberty
speech.
And you're trapped.
Because it's about free speech, not exercising it, if that makes sense. Like, we're not here on our own soapboxes, we're here to mark, like, commemorate.
Condemned as right-wing, racist, whatever.
Oh, here we go.
What it means when a child
No, she's
is
saying
put
it's
on
not
beauty
true.
blockers, they are the BBC and everybody was saying, oh, they're reversible. You can just stop them. It's a lie. When children are put on puberty blockers, they tend to stay on
Didn't
them.
you say you love
They
Christians,
literally
wasn't
don't
it?
go through puberty. It literally means they
Yeah. When did you become the arbiter of what people represent? Is it when you got your
they are
socialist kind of
sterilised.
indoctrination?
They are literally
When I decided to become a human being.
Not at conception then. What were you born, a kitten? Sorry, love.
I was at Bristol last Sunday. We had a speaker.
The hypocrisy. Oh, no worries. Any time.
Let us down and it's being looked into. We
You heard it here
were
first, everyone.
literally
Dusty was born a non-human.
people refusing to let us speak. We've got a big event in Brighton in September. We think the police will actually uphold our rights.
You sure of that?
Sorry.
I said to a police officer at Bristol, why are they
Unless they say hurty things.
Comedy, yeah.
And he
If they all
said,
stay quiet.
we have to let everybody have their free speech.
Lol.
So that isn't the case. If people are blaring noise at
Police be
you
like, you're
and
free
you
to be
can't
quiet.
Be heard, then that's
You're free to say these things here on this list.
So
Going pub.
Can I just
I feel like we should go
just
to
said
the
your
same.
life now.
Yeah, no, it keeps buffering because
a
of
lesbian
this shit thing.
feminist who has been fighting against violence against women for like 40 years.
Women, that's hate
I
speech.
booked a library to do an event to speak to young women about how they can, you know, be confident and not feel oppressed by male violence. I'm sorry, I know most of you are men, but I'm sure you're not
Kind
violent.
of follow the, you know,
Yeah.
not very important for this, but fine, I guess.
Nottingham City Council cancelled her booking.
Book it for Drag Queen Story Hour and send her in.
And the head of Nottingham City Council said this is due to the speaker's views on transgender
Oh,
rights
yawn.
being at odds with aspects of
I mean,
the
look, I think
council's
talking about Ukraine is very
diversity
important. I didn't stop talking about Ukraine.
Yeah.
We need to talk about what's relevant right
Yeah,
now.
well, Dusty's coming on, so we can all go for a wander.
as being
Oh, gonna be
reasonable.
funny if he
En masse,
loses all the.
uniform.
So I just want
Just to the
say
pub,
to
not
you
even come back. Sorry, I've got an agenda for the pub, obviously, you may notice.
Please don't accept it. Please actually look into it. Because once I started looking into it, I was so horrified to learn that I had been used.
Well done.
So I think that's it.
More women at Speaker's Corner.
Yes, you hate speaker. What do you mean, women?
Raj, you need to assert yourself.
All right, everyone.
Raj,
That's
you need
about
to
as much
assert
as that.
yourself.
No, Raj. Everyone should just. But I'm coming away because I couldn't give a shizzle about socialism. But I'm sure he'll speak loudly. Right, I'm going to have to kidnap a former policeman and take him to the pub. Potentially a practicing Jew as well.
So if somebody had complained, they should have said,
I see a Catholic who's probably up for it. Let's.
You know, ladies, and back in the day, you had young
This is outrageous.
in the army and also
Right, sorry, talk to me, people. Talk to me because I can't listen to Dusty. I might not do a speech because it is piddling. Tiddling. It's actually gone further than that. Yes, Ilias, you're right, love. Right. Andrew SOCO. Exactly. Yeah, but I tell you what's opium for the masses or the easily. Opium is the opium of the undereducated and the yada yada. It's just opium. Like, I don't know why everyone's got a down on it. It must be Hong Kong. Right. If I were to kidnap you people and take you to an establishment, which is very close by, to be fair, which is salubrious, with soft furnishings, zero clouds on the ceiling. How can? No, I don't mean for alcohol purposes. How dare you?
Then I won't be interested.
How dare? Okay, well, nudge, etc.
Nudge,
But
wink, wink.
it's say no more. But
There you go, Motherhead.
it's, yeah. I feel like I should just tell everyone the name.
Raj kind of asked me before you spoke with me to hold this camera when he was.
I know, yeah, but he didn't realise that Dusty was going on. Oh, she's still going, bless her. I thought it was Dusty got up there. She must have. She stopped, dropped, and rolled, elbowed him in the face. I've missed it. Rugby tackled him down.
White Knight for the feminists.
What was it? Pale, stale, and
Pale, stale, and male. Yeah.
Oh.
God, so cringe.
how?
So
But you know, the person who thought that
this
got
is
a
why the
warm
freedom of
feeling
speech union is
when they
failing.
made up that Shakespearean sonnet. Those 3 words, they were like, "That's gonna be the one that's gonna take off."
This is why the freedom of speech union is failing.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But never mind. Right, anyway, this is... I might just kidnap Steve then. The 2 Steves.
Tell it brevity is a solid win.
The big thief and the smaller Steve.
Both of them.
Tedious.
Right, anyone called Steve? Step this way. Steve? Well, I don't know if it's kidnap if I take the... Steve?
How many Steves?
Both Steves, Luke.
Well, just for a dry atmosphere, salubrious surroundings, soft furnishings, genteel conversation. And me.
Under announcer.
No, because Dusty might come.
That is a risk.
Go on then.
Put fingers in his ears.
Yeah. Oh no! Imagine what you might find in there.
that
His
is-
brains. Right, go on then. Get up there. Go on. I'll announce it from here while he's doing this. Please. Joseph's a master.
Do you see how
Machiavelli. She might have been arrested. Right, everybody, there's a public house this way. You're all welcome. Soft furnishings, no rain, reasonable prices, I'm assured, because I've never been there. And it's this way. Come on, Steve. Steve times 2. Come on, well done, sir. Have James, Joseph. Come on, just for the van.
Tell Bob I'd go for coffee.
Yeah, they do coffee in there. He's been there before when he lowered, come to the peasants, as it were.
Wait, are we going to the?
Yes, we are the PUB, as I like to call it.
Yesterday, Bob said that yesterday was the last time.
Oh well, what a shame. Never mind. Win-win. Silver linings all over the gaff. No, that's because he doesn't like the idea of being tracked down.
Yesterday they had.
I kind of wanted to
The milk. Oh, whatever, man. Oh, it must be such a shock to his system where he's been brought up in like the upper echelons of society. Sorry, you all heard that. Right, everyone, what's you waiting for? Oh, right, I'm gone. Let me go and get Steve Barnes. Stephen, I'm afraid these are your orders. Come with me now.
Okay.
You're being detained.
Where are you going? I don't know.
Marlborough. You're being detained. That road there, parallel with Oxford Street, off a Park Lane, right at the end. 3-min walk. Come now.
What's it called, the Marlborough?
Come
Oh,
now.
Okay. I'll follow you in a minute.
Immediately. Come on. Just the joy of seeing Dusty up there with 0 listeners would really do my Christmases for a while. Tommy Robinson. Do this. I'm going to end up dragging him off the thingy for real this time.
Yeah, you won't listen to it.
I could give a shizzle. Bob, you're encouraging him. Come away, darling. Come away. It's so much better if he's standing there on his own. Let's go to the... It's not all a pub agenda. Yeah, Steve's coming as well. What, one where we have to listen to Dusty? It seems so.
I don't know how I'm getting a Monday afternoon even listening to within my eardrum.
Lunchtime! Where's that bell?
Where's the bell? Get the bell.
Right, where's IC3 while I'm just like... Lunchtime! Hear ye, hear ye! All is well, ish. God save the Queen and all who sail. Come on then. Come on, Steve, tell him. Come on, anyone sensible this way, please. Let me encourage you. Away from this socialist rabble. Sorry, darling. Right, is everyone? Oh, come on. Right, I've got the person I wanted to kidnap. Take for a. Right. Hello. Right. Oh.
I've got to say, it's good to see you.
It'll wear off. Give it a minute.
It's lovely. I've got all the weight of the bird.
The weight of the uniform.
What are you doing on your? Did you have a word in up there?
It's just eased up, just as I thought it. I think you'll have to talk to the Jews, won't you, darling? That's the conspiracy theory I hear. Joseph? Oh, it's nice. So, well, as you said it, as I prayed it, do you feel that heat? I'm not joking. Do you feel the warmth? No, it's not. It's the Yahwehness. It's the God of the universe. And then the lightning crackles. Dusty gets inexplicably struck. Right. We've got a little bit of a gang. Do you know what? I find the conversations in the public house are more edifying lately, which is a real shame. And I would have said that if I'd have got up on that step ladder, but I never knew my real ladder. So, I'm going to do a speech in the pub. That's what I'm going to do. Except they play music. Ooh, whoa, Nelly! That's the Marble Arch that used to be at the beginning of Buckingham Palace and used to be at the beginning of the park, and now it's sitting there and it's all lonesome. And that's the road they built. Boo, town planners, etc. Have you got scissors hanging out of your pocket?
Yes.
Oh my God! What would you do without me? I'm gonna get.
Does that look a bit better?
It's not the point, darling. If you'd have tripped, you could have took your jugular out. You never have them pointing upwards, my love. Shush now, shush. Stum, mum's the. He was cutting the cord. Right, let's not die. Nobody die, please. It's just a little thing that I like to do, not dying. James, there's always one. Oh, I'm so impressed. I think I'll swoon later when I realise. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's non-impressive. Now he's waiting over the other side though, that's the joke. Kind of takes the dairy off the impression. Whoa! Sorry, I'm standing in the road now, judging people. Yeah, but only on the red line, they're not allowed. Sorry.
Park Avenue and Park Lane.
Getting intimate accidentally with Kevlar.
Yeah. I think we might have our Park Avenue, Park Lane.
What, being intimate or the traffic? You did it. You're not following my conversation, my love.
What did I say?
No, not the dump truck, not the dump truck. But why don't we just wait till the real life time?
Let's go. Very good. These guys just sped through.
I know, and then stood there rather unimpressively. Right, we're almost at my spiritual home. I mean, the pub. Silly me. I don't have an extra charger with me, but I do have an extra phone. So, yeah, if my battery gets... We're all right for the moment. But yeah, any questions for these wonderful fellow speakers? If you have some, I can go up to them and ask them. Because of just fun, really. Just fun. But I need to press the little chat button thing so I can see you. Bill, I've had those circular weirdo conversations with him. All right, Jeff. Hello. Yeah, no, it's ill-advised. It depends the carrying of the scissors. Now I don't want to get the law wrong, but it depends if you have a reasonable, chefs are allowed to carry knives around, for example, but not in all circumstances. Yeah, it's a bit silly, Billy. We don't even have a minimum length requirement now for bladed articles. It used to be, it had to be more than, I can't remember now, 3 inches, 3.5 inches. And now it's even technically a pair of nail clippers. But, contrary to what people actually believe, we do have firearms licences here. We do have certain types of firearms that are permitted. Don't tell everyone, obviously, they'll all want to move it. But yeah, we do actually. Pistols, do you remember those? But they have to be longer barreled, so you can't hide them in your bra, for example. I don't know. It always boils down to inches with boys and their toys. I think you'll find. Potentially girls and their toys also. Shush now, okay? But it's not Sunday, so I can veer off into the comedy. Anyway, humans. There's more humans in front of me. I love a human. I have to. Right, let's still allowed to have, I mean, if they're concealed, do you mean like Peaky Blinders, Bill? You can't have the locking flick if I'm right, but because of the bladed article business, you can have a flick knife, but you can't be carrying it around on the street with nefarious intent, I guess. Lots of things have recently been reclassified. I'm not going to say what they are because because I won't. Thank the Lord it's not mobile phones or selfie sticks, because I'd still have one. Right. She is well, but she's not with us. No, she didn't come along. Oh, I don't know that. No, I feel like she disappeared just prior, not abduction or arrest, just prior to us coming out. So yeah, I've also got some more footage that I will upload. I can do it now actually, of somebody with the book after it was stolen, handling stolen. Oh, mate. I can't do it at this moment. I could actually, but then I'd lose you all from the stream. Let's see how great the convo is. Cross the road, chaps. Exit stage right, I think you'll find. Let's none of us go left. Right. Oh, I thought it was closed. My heart stopped. But it's not. Yes, Phil, she was with us just now in the park. No, she's fine. She's fine. Right, we could just get every single table out here. Oh, you want to go indoors? Yeah, where are you going? Where is everyone going? The door is here. These nutters with their... Yeah, but there's 3. This is my spiritual home, chaps. Right, but they're all going inside where I can't stream. Oh, they want to see my face. I'm taking donations for this menial service here. That's all right, lovey. Right, I'm going to have a word with my friends a minute out here. Slimline tonic, someone. Well done. Right, no, this guy just so happy was sitting there, minding his own business. Like, oh. Right, anyway. All right, Mary. Hello, love. Okay. So, none of them want to sit outside because they're all probably racist and bigots. I just thought I'd go a bit SJW for him. Not to have to. He said, someone just passed me it and I'm going to give it back to them. What a joke. So what I could do, actually, that seems brilliant. I'm going to put that video... See, what I wanted to do is do a reaction video to it because it wasn't filmed by anyone who I'm friendly with, so I wouldn't want it removed for copyright, you know. If I do a reaction to it, then that comes under the critique, yada yada, whatever it is. But it must blow my nose. I'm so sorry. So this... Oh no, sorry, I was looking at the dates on the wall about the pub. Yes, Andrew. Well, I mean, an extended period of time. When I called her phone last night, it was unavailable, but it was ringing this morning, so I was pleased about that. And obviously I just left a message because, you know, it's, I don't know, she gets a lot of, obviously, people wanting to make sure she's all right, which is as it should be, obviously. Do excuse me and the nose blowing noise. Sorry. Oh, it's so disgusting. Well, it's odd because I don't find it disgusting when someone else does it, but it's just, I don't know, a convention. Right, so I might stop the stream a minute, let you all gather your thoughts, and I might make some just normal recordings inside the pub because of the copyright chisel. Yeah, I have to find a bit away from the speakers. Thank you, Ivan. I've been practicing for over 2 years now. It's nice to be appreciated for your talents, your naturals. Yeah, but for different reasons, I fear. Well, I don't fear. I assert, Bill. Does she have a non-allergenic form of rhinitis? I wonder. Right, actually, she could have. There's certain things that are not known allergens that are still irritants. Either way, I digress. Yeah, let me get inside because they can't organise without moi. Joking. Let me get in, order a drink is what I'm trying to say. And then if I start another stream, that one will be copyrighted and not this one. We got there in the end. So yeah, I'm going to stop it, but keep an eye out for me, if you don't mind. And I'll say lots of love. And 150 years of the Parks Act today. And imagine a woman gets robbed and arrested for being robbed. You couldn't make it up, and it's a good job I'm not. All right, lots of love. I'll see you soon. Ciao.